Hi, I'm Kathy Mitchell with NOFAS. Recently, we discovered a great website for expectant moms and young mothers called thebump.com. But it was so interesting to discover that a question had come in about drinking during pregnancy, and it received over 100 responses. Did you ever have wine when you were pregnant? Did you think it was okay or a big no-no? Like a few sips every now and then is fine, or maybe a glass every now and then is fine. Just curious, what about weed if it helps you with severe MS, or just for the hell of it? So let me share some of the responses that this young lady received. To each their own. As long as people are operating inside OB-approved parameters, it's none of my business. While another writes, I had a half a glass a couple of times with my OB's approval. No wonder women are confused when we have physicians and OBGYNs telling them that they can still drink while pregnant. The ACOG, or American College of OBGYNs, has a very clear position statement telling docs to let their patients know that there is no safe drinking during pregnancy. And we actually have a woman who is in our NOFAS network that was told to drink by her OBGYN. She was pregnant with twin boys. She has two twin boys that are now 6 years old, both with fetal alcohol syndrome. I don't side-eye the occasional glass of wine while pregnant. Your kid will not get fetal alcohol syndrome because you had 3 glasses of wine in 3 months or whatever. If someone drinks 3 glasses of wine, and they're those itty-bitty glasses of wine, well, the effects on their offspring may look very differently than the person that drinks 3 glasses of wine in a great big goblet full of wine. So a person can have 3 glasses of wine and actually consume enough alcohol in those 3 glasses to create full-blown fetal alcohol syndrome or a measurable birth defect in their child. The woman who's more apt to drink smaller amounts of wine, especially in a pattern throughout the pregnancy, that's where you see more the neurobehavioral effects, and we may not clearly understand that their children have effects until they hit at least school age, sometimes 10, 11, 12 years of age, before we really understand how alcohol has impacted the developing fetus. I drank a glass of wine once every week or 2 at the end of my pregnancy. I would never smoke weed while pregnant. And another person says, I had a glass of red wine the last few weeks of pregnancy. It was heaven. There's no way I'd risk anything by smoking weed. There's just not enough information out there about the risks. Alcohol is certainly more socially acceptable than using any illegal drugs like marijuana, but the research is very clear. Alcohol is much more damaging to the developing fetus than any of the other recreational drugs. As a matter of fact, in 1996, the Institute of Medicine reported that of all drugs of abuse, including heroin, cocaine, and marijuana, that alcohol produces by far the most damaging neurobehavioral effects on the developing fetus. I had a glass of wine on Thanksgiving and Christmas while I was pregnant. I once read that FAS and the toxic effects alcohol seems to have on fetuses is overwhelmingly an American problem. The basic gist of the article was that European women drink during pregnancy. It's considered socially normal, and they have much better pregnancy outcomes and lower incidence rates of fetal alcohol syndrome. NIH has been researching prevalence rates of fetal alcohol syndrome all over the world for many years now, and it might surprise some that Italy actually has higher rates than the US does. Anywhere that women drink, they find children being born with fetal alcohol spectrum disorders. And in terms of the holiday drinking, I mean, come on, folks. Would you take any other neurotoxin into your body while pregnant just because it's Christmas or Thanksgiving? Drink a mocktail. Now, this is my favorite response of all. I'm really glad I didn't. My son has ADHD, Asperger's, and dyslexia. If I thought something I did caused his life to be as challenging as it is at times, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. And that's one of the real reasons that we don't want women to drink any amount of alcohol while pregnant. There is never a guarantee that your child won't have some sort of challenge, birth defect, or issue to deal with during life. But the worst thing is to have to worry about that it's something that you caused. I should know. I did drink when I was pregnant. And it's a burden that I wouldn't wish on any other young woman. So I guess what I would like to say to readers of thebump.com is it's not worth the risk. I live with knowing that my 40-year-old daughter has fetal alcohol syndrome. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about, wow, what if I didn't drink when I was pregnant? It's not worth the risk.